Food, flowers, venue, decorations, rings, and vows. Planning a wedding can be very stressful, especially when you have a budget. Some things that I have heard of that can cause stress while planning a wedding are booking a caterer, staying within a budget, and just that there's so much to do. There are a few things that can help reduce stress. Tips that I have heard of are have help, such as a wedding planner or friends, take it one step at a time, and stop worrying about what can go wrong. Just have fun. I am planning my wedding, and four things that I have found that helped me are lists, a binder, staying organized, and a notebook. Let us now take a look at the four ways that have helped me reduce stress while planning my wedding. The first stress reducer I have found is lists. Lists for everything needed for wedding planning can be found online. I have found that the lists on realsimple.com have been the best for my needs. I have many lists. I have actually three sets of lists: a main list, second list, and third set of lists. On the main list, there's all the big things, such as invitations, the dress, the clothes, the hair. I then break everything down on the main list into a second set of lists. So for invitations, the second list would contain things such as RSVP cards, envelopes, if I'm going to make them, if I'm going to buy them. Then on the third set of lists, I take everything from the second set of lists and I make it its own list. So for envelopes, I would put down there, where can I buy them? Pricing information, what size I'll need, what color I'll need, as well as quantity. When each thing is decided on the third set of lists, it gets crossed off. I then move on to the second set of lists. When everything is purchased, made, or I know that I have everything that I need, it gets crossed off of the main list. These lists that you make can be kept in a wedding organizer or a binder, which is the second thing that I have found to help me stay organized, and it reduces a lot of stress. The use of a binder. You can buy a pre-made wedding organizer or you can make your own. You can find step-by-step instructions as well as examples of things that go into a binder on theplungeproject.com. To make my binder, I went onto this website, I got the main idea of what it was going to be at the end, and I made my own. For my binder, I got a binder. Inside of it, each thing gets a section. So this front section would be the flower girls and flowers. For each section, it gets a plastic sheeting envelope that I put cards, ads, business cards, pricing information all into this binder. In each section, there's also paper. The paper I use to write down ideas, everything I'm going to need to know, maybe questions, final decisions, stuff like that. Like this is the balloons. These are all, I went shopping and I found all these different colors. So now when I'm making final decisions, I have all the colors right here for me to choose from, as well as all the pricing information wrote down. Having a binder has greatly helped me reduce the amount of stress that comes with planning a wedding. So, after having all your lists and your binder, you're ready to figure out how much time you have to plan everything, which is another way to reduce your stress. It will allow you to have a lot of fun planning your wedding. By not rushing into decisions, it can allow you to tweak final decisions, or you may find an easier or cheaper way to do something. Decide on items from your main list will take the most time and plan accordingly. Some of the things that I have heard of that should have the most time spent on them are food, the guest list, the venue, the invites, and the decorations. It is important that you allow yourself enough time for all of the big things. Taking time in anything that you do is more likely to have you be stress-free than rushing or waiting till the last minute. So slow down and enjoy the planning. Now that you can figure out how much time you have to spend on every item on your list, you can start a notebook. The last thing that I have found to help me greatly is by starting a notebook. This notebook right here, I put everything in it that I may need to know or I may want to know. This notebook goes everywhere with me. I run errands, and while at the store, I will find something that I may need or I know I'm going to need, and I write down the price, where it is, and any other information I may need to know about it. I then, at the end, when I'm making final decisions on items, I have this notebook to look back on and go through all the pricing information. This will allow me to stay within my budget. Planning a wedding can be very stressful, especially when you have to do it within a budget. It can, however, be a lot less stressful with the use of lists, a binder, taking your time, as well as having your notebook. Take advantage of these stress reducers and have fun during your wedding planning process. After all this planning is going to lead up to one of the most important days of your life.